The book of Genesis, chapter 41. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kin of flat-fleshed, and they fled in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kind came up after them out of the river, ill-flavored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other cows upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed cows did eat up the 7 well-flavored and fat kind. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept and dreamed the second time. And behold, 7 ears of corn came up on one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt, and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Then spoke the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream, and in one night, I and he, we dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, a Hebrew servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him and interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. Victoria, go shut the door. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hung. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and he brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself and changed his clothes, and came unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou can understand a dream and interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of a river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 cow, fat-fleshed, well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kind came up after them, poor and very ill-favored, and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored as in the beginning. So I awoke. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears of corn came up on one stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered, thin and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this to the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. God has showed Pharaoh that what he is about to do. The 7 good cow are 7 years. The 7 ears of corn are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kind that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he shows unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine. And all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of the famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, set him over the land of Egypt, Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Forasmuch as God had showed me all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto my word shall my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than you. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee all over the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain around his neck. And he made him ride in the 2nd chariot which he had, and they cried before him, Bow the knee, and made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without you shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zipporah-Panath. And he gave unto him a wife, Asnath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On. And Joseph went out all over the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And the 7 plenteous years of earth brought forth by the handfuls. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid upon the food in the cities. The food of the field which was round about every city laid up he in the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much until he left numbering, for it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asnath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bore unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said, He has made me forget all my toil in all my father's house. And the name of the second he called Ephraim, for God has cursed me to be fruitful, caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteous that were in the land of Egypt were ended, and the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all the lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And all the land of Egypt was famished, and the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, what he has said to you, do. And the famine was all over the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses, and sold unto the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all the countries came into Egypt to Joseph to buy corn, because the famine was so sore in all the lands. Chapter 42. Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, Why do you look upon one another? And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get down there and buy for us some, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, Lest suppose mischief should befall him. And the sons of Israel came by corn among those that came, for the famine was in all the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over all the land, and he it was that sowed to all the people in the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down before them with their faces towards the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spoke roughly unto them, and said, Where do you come from? And they said, From the land of Canaan, to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, and they knew him not. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, You are spies, to see the nakedness of the land you are come. And they said unto him, No, my lord, but to buy food are we to come. We are all one man's sons, we are true men, thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, No, but to see the nakedness of the land you are come. And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is in this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, That is it that you speak unto you, saying, Yes, you are spies. Hereby you shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh you shall go no forth hence, except your youngest brother comes here. Send one of you and let him fetch your brother, and you shall be kept in prison, that your words be proved, whether there by any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh surely you are spies. Then he put them all together into the ward for 3 days. And Joseph said unto them the third day, Do this and live, for I fear God. If you be true men, let one of your brother be bound in the house of your prison. Go, carry corn for the famine of your house, but bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified, and you shall not die. And they did so. And they said to one another, We are verily guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul. When he besought us, we would not hear. Therefore this distress came upon us. And Reuben answered them, and said, Speak I not unto you, saying, I did not sin against the child, and you would not hear? Therefore, behold, his blood is required. And they knew not what Joseph understood them, for he spoke unto them in an interpreter. And he turned himself about them, and wept, and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took from them Simon, and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them. And they laddered their asses with corn, and departed. As one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender of the inn, he despised his money, for behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying to one another, What is it that God has done unto us? And they came unto Jacob their father in the land of Canaan, and told them all that befell them, saying, The man who is Lord of the land spoke roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, We are true men, we are not spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the other youngest is the day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord, the country, said unto us, Hereby shall I know that you are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone. Bring your youngest brother unto me. Thou shall I know that you are not spies, but that you are true men. So I will deliver you to your brother, and you shall be trafficked in the land. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And with both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have you bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simon is not, and you will take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. And Reuben spoke unto his father, saying, Slay my 2 sons, if I bring them not to thee. Deliver me into the hand, and I will bring them to thee again. And he said, My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way of which you go, then you shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. This is the word of the Lord. Thank you, Lord. I love you with all my heart. In your loving name I pray. Amen.